Hi there, it's Nicole from Mama Elephant, and today's card features the new Little Emotions stamp set, which is a darling stamp set that has lots of cute little emojis. It's a whole bunch of faces, a little body, hands, lots of accessories, so you can mix and match and create just the right emojis that you want to. To start my card, I am going to die cut a rectangle from smooth white cardstock using the Pica Frame die. Then I'm going to die cut my script smile word from black cardstock. I'm going to set both of these pieces aside for just a second once I pop that word out. Then I'm going to die cut the rainbow from Rainbow High from some watercolor cardstock. Make sure I get that good and die cut. And then I'm going to set my die cutting machine to the side and carefully snip apart each of these little rainbow pieces. I'm going to add color to them using some distress inks. Instead of die cutting the rainbow multiple times from different cardstocks, I find it easier to simply die cut it from some sort of white cardstock and apply whatever kind of ink or paint or you can color it with whatever. I just think it's a little bit easier and quicker that way. I am using distress inks so that I can add a little distressing to them. Using Barn Door for the red layer, Carved Pumpkin for my orange. I'm going to use Squeezed Lemonade for the yellow layer, and I start applying the color and then I'm simply holding it down with a scrap piece of paper so I can keep my fingers off of the ink. My next layer is going to be green, and I'm going to use the Mowed Lawn Distress ink. Next, I'm going to do two different layers of blue. So I'm going to do Peacock Feathers first, which I think is a nice combination of green and blue. It transitions nicely from the green to a blue. And then my next layer is going to be Salty Ocean. And finally, I will finish with a little Seedless Preserves. Once I have all of my rainbow pieces, I'm going to spritz those with water from a distress sprayer, just a tiny little spritz. Let that sit for about 30 seconds and then blot that dry with a paper towel. And you can see it adds some nice distressing to it, plus kind of helps mute it just a tiny little bit. I'm going to go ahead and set most of those layers to the side. I'm going to go ahead and kind of pull up this sheet because I don't want any of that ink to maybe transfer to my next project. So I'll remove that sheet on my grid paper. I'm going to take my white background now and just the red rainbow layer so that it helps me with my spacing. I'm going to adhere that to my white background exactly where I want it to go. I've only added adhesive to the center. Kind of just set something heavy on that for just a second until that dries so that I can make sure it's not going to shift. This is going to give me a guideline for where I want to stamp all of the emojis. I could not pick just one, and I thought it would be cute to create a whole little series of emojis standing on this rainbow for my card today. You can see on the stamp sheet here, there are so many different emojis. You can create all kinds of fun little emotions here. So I'm starting with the body first. I started in the center and added a face. There's going to be a different face on each of the bodies. I apologize that my head got in the way each time I stamped this, but I wanted to make sure that I lined it up. What I did was I started in the center, stamped that entire emoji, then I stamped a body on either side of that and stamped a head, then a body on either side of that and stamped a different head, and I'm going to do that all the way around the arc to build that entire little series of emojis. You can see how cute all these little faces are, and I only used a fraction of the emotions that you can use. There are so many fun ones. There's several that I think would be so cute for a Get Well card. Lots and lots of different ways to, or emotions and occasions that these will work for. Just a really cute and fun, clever idea. I'm going to finish this as my last emojis, these two right here. I could have probably tried to go one more, but I kind of thought the head might stamp off the side of the cardstock, and I didn't want that to happen. So I went ahead and left it as is. I'm going to have a cloud layer across the bottom anyway, and I didn't want it covering up any of the emojis. I stamped all of these with the Intense Black ink from Simon Says Stamp, which works well with alcohol ink markers, and then I'm going to color all of these in with Copic markers. I'm only sticking to 4 Copic markers. This is probably the least amount of Copic markers I have ever used for this amount of coloring on a project. All of the emojis are going to be used or colored with Y11 and Y18, the cheeks with R20, and then the red with R24. Really simple. You could definitely color them in any color you wanted to. I kind of decided to stick to the traditional yellow, and I thought it would add a nice pop of color to this predominantly white area of the card. I'm going to color all of these in the same. After I had colored in the first one, I decided to go ahead and color in all of the red areas. So anywhere there's a tongue or heart eyes or anything like that, I colored all of those in with my R24. Then I'm simply just going to work on these. As I got going, I kind of would color 2 of them at a time. I would lay down my base color of Y11, go in with the Y18 and add my shading, and then go back with Y11 and blend it out. You can do it however you want to. This was just the quickest and easiest way I found to do it that worked for me. And then I'd go back and put in a little R20 for the cheeks, which gives them such a cute little personality. I love all the little faces. I just think they are so fun. I'll finish up these last few here real quick. Once I have all of these colored in, I can work on putting the rest of my card together. You can definitely tell the Y18 really makes that yellow pop. The Y11 is a nice base color, but it looks a little flat until you add in that second color. Needed to blend a little bit more for that one. Went in and added my R20 for my cheeks. I'll finish with this last little guy making the cheesy little face. So cute. Go ahead and color and blend that all out. And add the R20 for the cheeks. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue and secure the rest of the red rainbow arch there. Then I'm just going to draw lines of glue and replace each section of my rainbow. So there's the orange, and I'm using a large acrylic block to hold that down after each addition. Kind of helps keep it nice and flat. Once I get every single layer of the rainbow in place, I'll just put my acrylic block on top of that and let it sit there until the glue completely dries. Make sure those are lined up well. I have die cut another rectangle from watercolor cardstock, and from that rectangle I die cut the landscape trio die with the cloudy border. Without inking up my Peacock Feathers Distress Ink foam, I'm going to just go ahead and apply the color. There's that much color on the foam already, left over from coloring in that layer of the rainbow. Go ahead and sprinkle that with a little bit of water from the Distress Sprayer, blot it dry, and this is going to go along the bottom edge of the card. This is going to be my cloudy border. So there's kind of what it's going to look like when I adhere that to the panel. And then here's my die cut smile. Now I decided I needed a couple more little images up top where there's so much white space, so I'm going to take the little teeny tiny heart from the Little Emotions stamp set, stamp that about 3 times, and go ahead and color that in with my R24 Copic marker. And I like how that adds a little bit more pop of color near the top of the card design. I'm going to go in with my black gel pen and add detail to the eyes on quite a few of the emotions there, or the emojis. And then I'll take some glossy accents, and on the tongues and mouths and hearts, I'm going to apply a little glossy accents. It's going to give a great little dimensional look to those areas and really make them shine. I'll do that on any of them that have a mouth open or has little hearts or things like that. Even the little guy here with the cheese, I'm going to go ahead and do that just over his mouth or teeth area. Cheesy smile, I guess I should say. Next, I'm going to take a greeting from the labeled messages stamp set that says "You're the best," and stamp that with some intense black ink on smooth white cardstock, and then trim around that, leaving a little bit of a white edge all the way around. I love this greeting set. It works great for so many different cards. The greeting then is going to read, "Smile, you're the best." Once I have that trimmed out, I can go ahead and put together the rest of the card design. I will adhere the cloudy border along the bottom edge. Use a little liquid adhesive to put some little dots of glue on the back of the script "Smile" die cut word, and then adhere it to my card as well. Try to find the best way to do that so that I don't get my acrylic block in the glossy accents on any of the little emojis. Put some adhesive on the back of the label and then tuck that right there on my card so that the loop on the letter E kind of slightly overlaps. I also need to adhere the little dot for the letter, for the letter I from the die cut there. It's still stuck in my black cardstock, so I'll pop that out, pick it up with the quick stick tool, and place that right where I've added a dab of glue. And then I did die cut the heart from the Rainbow High die collection. Adhere some barn door distress ink to it and glue it in place right there above the loop on the letter E. Once I have that done, the card is pretty well finished. I'm going to take this entire panel and secure it to a side fold card base from Simon Says Stamp, and that will finish off this really super cute and fun emoji style card design. Thanks for watching this video showcasing the Little Emotions stamp set from Mama Elephant. The supplies I've used to create this card are listed and linked below the video on YouTube. Please subscribe for weekly card making and stamping videos. Here are a couple more videos showcasing Mama Elephant stamps and dies that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.